Oh, yes, because adding another child to the family always fixes a broken marriage. Harry and Meghan reportedly are planning to have a third child. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the King YouTube channel. Well, friends, I have come across some news today that I have got to share with you. It is probably the most ridiculous thing I have seen about Meghan and Harry in quite some time. According to Daniela Elser, writing for news.com.au, Harry and Meghan are thinking what they should really do right now is have another baby. Oh, yes, because let's remember how many marriages have been repaired by adding a third child. So I guess the failed careers, the failed marriage, and the mortgage they can't really afford isn't enough for them. They need more to do, so they're looking to add a third. So, according to Daniela, there are still rumors floating around that Harry and Meghan are considering moving house, which does make a lot of sense considering they can't afford that McMansion they live in Montecito, and there have also been reports that they haven't even lived in that place for quite some time, perhaps ever. So it makes sense that they're wanting to move. We heard first they were going to move to Malibu. Well, I don't think they can afford Malibu either. And then we heard that they were looking to move to Los Angeles to be closer to Hollywood so that Meghan can finally get her big break. But according to Daniela Elser, there has now also been the first scarrick of a rumor of the possibility of the couple adding to their brood and to their future British Airways bills. Okay, but first I guess we're going to talk about them moving house. Let's remember the Daily Mail reported back in November that Meghan and Harry had been viewing properties in the LA area as they want to have a base closer to Hollywood studios. Well, again, just being close to Hollywood studios is not going to make Meghan all of a sudden talented. It's not going to have people interested in her all of a sudden just because she's close by. If she really believes that proximity is the only thing that is stopping her from being successful, well, she's got another thing coming. So in December, the Times also started reporting that Harry and Meghan were planning to move. They interviewed people around Montecito and discovered that, quote, locals suggested the Duke and Duchess may be looking to move from their mansion. A member of the same polo club as Harry told the paper, I heard they're moving to LA. I think they're looking for real estate if they haven't already found it. And then we heard that maybe Harry and Meghan were not going to be selling their Montecito McMansion, but instead they were going to be adding to their real estate portfolio, whatever that means. Like the two of them could possibly afford two McMansions, and they can't even afford the one. I mean, they don't even own the one home outright. They still got a mortgage on that place in Montecito, so what business do they have buying up another property? Absolutely none. According to Elser, when Meghan and Harry first bought that place back in 2020, the Mail estimated that their mortgage was about $716,000 a year. And, quote, earlier this year, their property taxes, similar to council rates, surged past the $200,000 mark, according to columnist Richard Eden. So it's not as if Meghan and Harry can afford the place they're in now. Just think about it. They have not been bringing in the kind of money to keep this place up. They've also got to pay for all their security people. They have to pay for their staff, the housekeepers, the nannies for the invisibles, I guess, gardeners. Who knows? And a home of that size is not cheap to keep up. They've got to pay for the gardens to be taken care of. They have to make sure that everything is in tip-top shape. According to the Mail's estimate back in 2020, the total estimated running costs for that place, including security, staff, and utilities, came in at about $6.5 million a year. So how on earth are they going to be able to afford that at this point in time? They have not made any real money in quite some time. I know Harry had spare, but reportedly, he didn't even sell enough copies, or rather the publisher didn't sell enough copies to earn back the advance that had already been paid. So it's not like Harry made a profit off that book. Reportedly, though, Harry and Meghan are really desperate to be closer to LA. They're feeling out of the loop in Montecito, I guess. They want to be closer to bigger celebrities. They want to be able to go to Lakers games, for example, and Meghan's got to be able to go to those concerts that nobody wants her at whenever she can. I guess another problem for Harry and Meghan in Montecito is that the citizens of Montecito have not necessarily been welcoming. Apparently, Harry and Meghan think they're better than everybody, they don't want to spend time with any of their neighbors, and reportedly, the people in Montecito tend to be a bit older. So allegedly, Harry and Meghan are looking for somewhere more hip. They're looking for somewhere with a younger population. It's important to note here that Meghan and Harry also seem to be completely delusional about how old they really are. They like to describe themselves as young parents. Meghan all the time is referring to herself as a young mother. Last time I checked, mid-40s is not young, but okay, sure, whatever, Meghan. What we do know, though, is that in 2023, Harry and Meghan did head to LA a lot to hang out. A Page Six story from earlier this year was called "Why Prince Harry and Meghan Markle Are Driving 4 Hours to Hang Out in Hollywood." It's something that happened a lot. They went to games, apparently. They would go to dinner at San Vicente bungalows. And reportedly, I think Harry also had a secret escape room that he would stay in sometimes in LA to get away from Meghan. Now, apparently, the Mail was one of the first media outlets to report that Harry and Meghan were considering having a third child. In late 2023, they reported that, quote, "there are rumors they would love to have a third child." It is interesting, isn't it? Because if I remember correctly, at one point in time, Harry and Meghan said they were going to limit their number of children to 2 because of environmental concerns, which was clearly an insult to William and Catherine. But it looks like they have changed their mind. It looks like they believe this is the only thing that's going to get them that sweet, sweet media attention they're so desperate for. Daniela Elser writes, "Again, this is hardly a shocker. The Duke and Duchess have suffered many slings and arrows in recent years, including from my quiver, but they are unquestionably 2 people utterly devoted to their children and who are deeply committed to parenthood." What planet is she living on? I mean, what is she talking about? Are they really unquestionably 2 people utterly devoted to their children? What exactly does she mean by that? What evidence does she have to support this claim? Harry and Meghan seem to never spend time with those children. We never see them together. They never take them anywhere. They're always going on these expensive, luxurious vacations without the kids, and we assume they're being left in that Montecito McMansion with Doria. As far as I can tell, Harry and Meghan are not 2 people who are unquestionably devoted to their children, but as the late Queen said, recollections may vary. Of course, Meghan and Harry have shown themselves to be eco-hypocrites time and time again. For example, they insist on flying everywhere via private jet. When they headed to New York, they insisted on a 7-car, 7-gas-guzzling SUV convoy, my mistake, to accompany them a single block. So, okay, hypocrisy in this area wouldn't be a big surprise, would it? Elsa writes, "Will 2024 be a year of big change for the Sussexes? Will they be loading up moving trucks or getting bassinets out of storage or sending change of address cards to Clarence House?" I think instead of getting bassinets out of storage, though, first Meghan's going to have to find the moon bumps. I just can't believe that they're going to try to pull this scam again. I mean, are they really that bold? Are they really that insane? If you ask me, the first 2 times it didn't work out all that well. I mean, Meghan's moon bump was falling to her knees. There are many people, myself included, who are not convinced that these 2 children really even exist. So how on earth are they going to pull off a third invisible child? I don't believe it's going to happen. Now, do I believe that at some point in time the idea of a third invisible child was thrown around? Well, sure. Often, when people find themselves facing a failing marriage, they believe that having another baby is going to solve everything because they remember how happy they were when they had their first baby or their second baby or whatever, and they think it's going to have the same magical effect. Well, I mean, I don't know a single couple that has worked out well for. In the end, adding another child to the family does not make things easier. It usually makes things more difficult, more complicated. In fact, I don't know of a single marriage that was saved forever by having another child, and Meghan and Harry's is going to be no exception. And you, what do you think of this news that Harry and Meghan might have a third baby? Please let me know your opinion below in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to like and share with anybody else who would appreciate it too. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.